Welcome to my channel Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 3 coins. Please don't skip this video, so let's get it started. The year 1966 was one of the most significant years in Australian monetary history. Before that, Australia used the pound, shilling, and pence system, inherited from the British Empire. But on February 14, 1966, Australia officially switched to the decimal currency system, introducing a brand new range of coins including the 5-cent coin for the very first time. This was the first year of issue for the 5-cent coin, making the 1966 edition the first and oldest 5-cent coin in Australian history under the decimal system. It replaced the older 6-pence coin of the pre-decimal era and became one of the smallest denominations in everyday circulation. So every 1966 5-cent piece is not just a coin, it's a milestone of change, representing Australia's move into modern decimal money. The coin design Queen Elizabeth II and the echidna host zooming in on both sides of the coin. Let's take a closer look at the design, one of the most famous and enduring designs in Australian coinage. The obverse features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, one of Britain's most respected sculptors. It shows the Queen wearing a tiara gifted by the girls of Great Britain and Ireland, an elegant and iconic royal look that appeared on coins of many Commonwealth nations. Around the edge you'll see the words, Elizabeth II Australia 1966. This portrait remained in use until 1984, making it one of the longest-running royal portraits in Australian coinage. On the reverse side is one of Australia's most beloved native animals, the echidna, also known as the spiny anteater, designed by Stuart Devlin, the same artist who designed all of Australia's decimal coins. The echidna is shown curled protectively around its spines, surrounded by the denomination 5. It's a design full of texture, detail, and symbolic pride in Australia's wildlife. Coin specifications. Host show visuals with overlay text. Country, Australia. Year, 1966. Denomination, 5 cents. Metal composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight, 2.83 grams. Diameter, 19.41 millimeters. Edge, Rita designer. Reverse, Stuart Devlin designer. Obverse, Arnold Machin. This durable copper-nickel alloy allowed the coin to remain bright and strong for decades, which is why even after nearly 60 years, many 1966 coins still survive in collectible condition. Rarity and variations. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 1966 5-cent coin was minted in huge numbers. Over 30 million pieces were struck at the Royal Australian Mint and at the London Mint in the United Kingdom. However, not all of them are equal. There are small die variations and mint differences, including subtle differences in the Queen's portrait and the echidna design details. Collectors also look for error coins from this first year, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double strikes, missing reading on the edge. These rare errors can raise the value of a coin dramatically. So, while the normal 5-cent coins are common, extra fine or error coins from 1966 are much harder to find and can be worth many times face value. Coin condition. What extra fine means. Host educational tone. When we say a coin is in extra fine condition, it means the coin shows light wear on the highest points only. Most details, including the Queen's portrait and the echidna spines, are still sharp. The field's flat areas retain much of their original luster. The edges are clean with no major scratches or dents. In short, an extra fine 1966 5-cent coin looks almost new, with only minor signs of use. Such coins are very collectible because they represent the first year of decimal minting, preserved in outstanding condition. Market value in dollars. 2025 update. Now, let's talk about what every collector wants to know: the current market value of the 1966 Australia 5-cent Elizabeth coin in 2025. The value depends on condition, rarity, and collector demand. Here's the approximate value range. Circulated condition, 10 cents to 25 cents USD. Extra fine condition, $2 to $5. Almost uncirculated, around $6 to $10. Brilliant uncirculated, up to $15 or even $25. Error coins, off-center or double strike, between $30 and $150 depending on rarity and visibility of the error. So, if your 1966 Australian 5-cent coin is in extra fine or uncirculated condition, it's definitely a small but valuable treasure from Australia's first decimal year. Collectors around the world, especially from Australia, the UK, and the US, continue to buy these coins online through eBay. Prices have risen slightly over the last few years due to collector nostalgia and the coin's age. Why this coin matters. The 1966 5-cent coin may seem small, but it's a symbol of transformation, the coin that marked Australia's move into the modern age. It connects two worlds: the British heritage represented by Queen Elizabeth II, and the Australian identity symbolized by the echidna. And because it's the first year of issue, it will always hold a special place in Australian numismatic history. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned expert, owning a 1966 5-cent Elizabeth coin is owning a piece of Australia's national story. Final thoughts. So there you have it, the full story of the 1966 Australian 5-cent coin, the first of its kind, featuring Queen Elizabeth II and the echidna, and carrying more value than its tiny size suggests. That if you've got one of these coins lying around in your collection or drawer, take a close look, it might be worth more than you think. Remember, condition, rarity, and mint errors can turn even a 5-cent coin into a collector's gem. Next. The story of the Australian 5-cent coin begins in 1966, when Australia officially moved from the old pound, shilling, and pence system to the decimal currency system. The 5-cent coin replaced the pre-decimal sixpence and became one of the smallest denominations in the new currency lineup. By 1993, Australia had already been using decimal coins for nearly 3 decades. But that year holds a special place. It was one of the lower mintage years for the 5-cent denomination during the early 1990s, making it a collectible issue for modern coin enthusiasts. The coin's enduring design with Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the echidna on the reverse had already become a national symbol by then. So, even though it's small, the 1993 5-cent coin represents continuity, tradition, and Australian craftsmanship at its finest. The design: Queen Elizabeth II and the echidna. Host zooming in on both sides of the coin. Let's take a closer look at the design of this iconic coin. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the British sculptor Raphael Maklauf. This design was used from 1985 to 1998, and it shows the Queen wearing the royal diadem, crown, and earrings, with her regal and graceful appearance. Around the portrait are the inscriptions. Elizabeth II, Australia, 1993. This portrait emphasizes the Queen's maturity and her long-standing role as head of the Commonwealth, giving the coin a dignified and classic appearance. On the reverse side, we see the famous echidna, designed by Stuart Devlin, who also designed all the Australian decimal coin reverses introduced in 1966. The echidna, one of Australia's most unique and ancient animals, is shown curled up with its spines displayed in beautiful detail, surrounding the large number 5. The denomination. It's a small coin, but the design is powerful, symbolizing Australia's natural heritage and independence. Coin specifications. Host show visuals with overlay text. Country: Australia. Year: 1993. Denomination: 5 cents. Metal composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight: 2.83 grams. Diameter: 19.41 millimeters. Edge: reeded Raphael Maklauf, Stuart Devlin. Mint: Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. This coin was made from durable copper-nickel alloy, giving it a silvery shine that lasts decades. Even after 30-plus years, coins from 1993 can still look sharp and attractive in extra fine condition. Rarity and collectability. Host enthusiastic tone. While the 1993 5-cent coin may not be the rarest of all Australian coins, it is not a high mintage year, and that makes it special for collectors. The Royal Australian Mint produced approximately 59 million coins that year. Compared to the hundreds of millions minted in other years, 1993 was a relatively small production year. That means fewer coins survive today in pristine or extra fine condition. Collectors often seek the 1993 issue to complete their 1990s decimal coin sets, especially when the coin retains its original shine, sharp detail, and minimal wear. Coins from this year with proof finishes or mint errors are also particularly valuable. Coin condition. What extra fine means in the world of numismatics: condition means everything, and extra fine is one of the most desirable grades for circulated coins. A 1993 Australian 5-cent coin in extra fine condition will show only slight wear on the high points of the Queen's hair and the echidna's spines. Full design details with sharp edges, natural metallic shine, and a clean, attractive surface. No deep scratches or corrosion. Such coins are harder to find because most 5-cent coins circulated heavily. Finding a 1993 piece in XF or better condition can be a small but meaningful achievement for a collector. Market value in US dollars. 2025 update. Now, let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the current market value of the 1993 Australian 5-cent coin in 2025. While this coin isn't made of precious metal, its collectible and historical value has grown steadily among coin enthusiasts, especially in top condition. Here's the approximate value breakdown. Circulated condition, 10 cents to 30 cents USD. Extra fine condition, $2 to $4 almost uncirculated, $5 to $7. Uncirculated or mint set coin, $8 to $12. Proof or error coins. Double strike, off center, missing reading can fetch $20 to $80 or more, depending on rarity. While this coin might not make you rich overnight, collectors value the 1993 issue for its low mintage, clean design, and historical role in Australia's decimal era. It's a steady value coin, a great example of how small denominations can still hold long-term collectible interest. Why collectors love the 1993 issue? Collectors appreciate the 1993 Australia 5-cent coin because it captures a key era of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, the 1990s, when her portrait evolved and Australia's decimal coinage matured. It's a coin that connects the past and present, the royal legacy of the Commonwealth, the distinct wildlife of Australia, and the fine craftsmanship of the Royal Australian Mint. As older coins leave circulation and coinage evolves, small coins like these become time capsules of history, a reminder of an era that's slowly fading away. Final thoughts. So there you have it, the full story of the 1993 Australian 5-cent Elizabeth II coin in extra fine condition. It may be tiny, but it carries decades of history, culture, and pride in its simple silver shine. If you have this coin in your collection, protect it well, especially if it's in XF or better condition, because collectors worldwide are starting to value these 1990s decimals more each year. Remember, in coin collecting, age, condition, and history are what turns small coins into big treasures. Next, let's rewind to 1983, a year of change and progress in Australia. By this time, Australia had been using its decimal currency system for 17 years, after transitioning from the old pounds, shillings, and pence in 1966. The 5-cent coin, introduced in 1966, replaced the old sixpence and became one of the most recognized everyday coins in circulation. The 1983 issue of this coin continued the tradition, carrying the same designs that had become symbolic of Australian identity. Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, representing the nation's constitutional monarchy, and the echidna, a native Australian animal, on the reverse, representing the country's wildlife and heritage. Although millions were minted, the 1983 5-cent coin holds a special place in coin history because of its transitional era design and the changing mints of the early 1980s. It was a time when minting quality and subtle variations made certain years more collectible, and 1983 was one of those years. The design, Queen Elizabeth II and the echidna host, zooming in on both sides of the coin. Now let's take a closer look at this coin's design, timeless, elegant, and full of meaning. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented British sculptor Arnold Machin. This portrait, used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984, shows the young queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic royal jewels. Around the portrait, you'll read the inscriptions, Elizabeth II Australia 1983. This design reflects Australia's connection to the Commonwealth, while also symbolizing stability and continuity through the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. On the reverse, we have the detailed and much-loved image of the echidna, designed by Stuart Devlin, who designed all of Australia's decimal coin reverses. The echidna, or spiny anteater, is a unique Australian animal, shy, ancient, and resilient, perfectly representing the spirit of the nation. At the center is the bold number 5, the coin's denomination, framed by the echidna spikes in a circular pattern, a design that's been used for nearly 60 years without change. Coin specifications. Host visual overlay with text and soft background music. Country, Australia. Year, 1983. Denomination, 5 cents. Metal composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight, 2.83 grams. Diameter, 19.41 millimeters. Edge, reeded mint, Royal Australian Mint. Canberra obverse, Arnold Machin reverse, Stuart Devlin. This coin is made from a strong copper-nickel alloy, giving it that silver-gray color and long-lasting shine. Even after decades, coins from this year still look beautiful, especially in extra fine condition. Rarity and collectability. So, what makes the 1983 Australian 5-cent coin collectible? Well, while millions of coins were minted that year, most went through heavy circulation, meaning they got worn out over time. Finding a 1983 coin in extra fine condition with clear details, minimal scratches, and sharp edges is not easy today. Also, 1983 marks the final years of the Arnold Machin portrait before it was replaced by Raphael Maklauf's portrait in 1985. That means 1983 coins are part of the last generation of the classic early design, making them more desirable to collectors. Additionally, there are a few known minting errors for 1983 coins such as double die obverse missing reading or weak strikes. These rare errors can multiply a coin's value significantly. Coin condition. What extra fine means. Now let's talk about what extra fine or condition really means. A 1983 5-cent coin in extra fine condition shows light wear only on the queen's hair and the echidna spines. Most fine details and lettering remain crisp. The field's flat areas have a natural luster and light tone. No major dents, scratches or discoloration. Such coins are often kept by collectors because they represent the best preserved examples of circulation pieces. Market value in US dollars. 2025 update. Now, let's get to the exciting part. The current market value of this coin today in 2025. Even though the 1983 5-cent coin is not made of silver or gold, its collector and historical value make it worth keeping. Here's the approximate value range based on condition. Circulated condition, 10 to 25 cents USD. Extra fine condition, $2 to $4 USD. Almost uncirculated, $5 to $7 USD. Brilliant uncirculated, $10 to $15 USD. Error or variety coins, $25 to $100 plus USD, depending on rarity and visibility of the minting error. Collectors in Australia, the UK and the US actively trade and buy 1983 coins in top condition, especially through eBay, Katawiki and Numista auctions. While it's not a high-dollar coin, its historic context and limited premium quality examples make it a steady value collectible that grows in demand over time. Why collectors value the 1983 issue. The 1983 5-cent coin represents the perfect balance between history and heritage. It's part of the final era of the Makin portrait, tying back to the early days of decimal currency in Australia. And it continues to celebrate Australia's unique wildlife through the timeless echidna design. Every collector knows coins like this are more than metal. They are tiny storytellers of the time they were made, from the Queen's youthful portrait to the delicate detail of the echidna's spines. This coin is a symbol of continuity, craftsmanship and national pride. Final thoughts. So there you have it, the story of the 1983 Australian 5-cent Queen Elizabeth II coin in extra fine condition. It's small, elegant, and a proud piece of Australia's monetary history. Even though its face value is just 5 cents, its numismatic value, beauty, and historic connection make it a coin worth keeping and cherishing. If you have one, make sure you store it safely because in the collector's world, the smallest treasures often tell the biggest stories. Thank you for watching Super Rare Coins. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. For more rare and valuable coin stories every week.